I thought let's make a quick comparison about Prime Minister Modi visiting the Adampur Air Base about 2 days ago, and then comes in Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the Adampur Air Base in Punjab that Pakistan had claimed they have completely destroyed and damaged. So Prime Minister Modi then decided to land a C-130 Hercules, a Super Hercules aircraft, and at the base, which basically means ATC is functional, air base is functional, and then goes to meet the air warriors on the ground. Shehbaz Sharif's location was clearly far away from an air base. There was no airfield. That in many ways, the air bases that India has hit, more than 9. He could have chosen any of the air bases that India has claimed to have hit. But instead, he chose what looked like, to me honestly, a field, a Maidan, not a military base. Prime Minister Modi had landed, again, like I mentioned, a huge military aircraft. Interestingly, Pakistan Prime Minister traveled and drove in a jeep, like it's a safari in a sanctuary, to address the Pakistan security personnel. Why not choose an airbase? Why not land on an airbase to show everything is fully functional and operational? Prime Minister Modi, remember, when he was speaking, in the background was the S-400 air defense system, the surface-to-air missile system, MiG fighter jets. The messaging here was Pakistan claimed all of this was destroyed. Here it was in the background, fully functional and shown when the Prime Minister was speaking. Pakistan had falsely claimed it was destroyed. It wasn't. On the other side, Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif posing with army tanks. But Pakistan Army, the Indian Army as much, played no role with tanks in Operation Sindoor or its response. Why were there these tanks camouflaged and he's standing on top of one of these to show that and claim that there is victory? This is hilarious, to say the least. I want to bring in India Today's managing editor, Gaurav Sawant, on this. Gaurav, tell me what comparison when you make, how do you look at the differences between the two? He's trying to show everything is okay. What are the some of the peculiar notifications that you have picked on from these visuals?
You know, the question you asked is why didn't they go to an air base? Because all their air bases have been bombed and hammered by Indian, whether it's the BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles or some of the other military hardware that's been used. Clearly, they can't go to an airbase. Where would they have gone? The closest boat for General Asim Munir and Shehbaz Sharif from Islamabad and Rawalpindi would have been the Noor Khan airbase. But Noor Khan airbase, instead of giving them pride, will give them deep despair. The manner in which India was able to strike so deep inside Pakistan, at Rawalpindi, right next to Islamabad, their capital. So it's humiliation for them. Point one. This effort, very, very desperate effort on the part of Pakistanis to keep their morale high. And it's almost impossible for a defeated army to keep its morale high in 21st century when two nuclear-powered countries face off with each other. The manner in which India has hammered Pakistan, this is a hammering Pakistan will not forget for a very long time. What Pakistan does, of course, score in is misinformation and disinformation, which it did even in 1971 and 65, because in Pakistani textbooks, they're a 5,000-year-old civilization and they won every war against India, and the earth is flat. So in all of this, and these are facts, this is taught to Pakistanis. So, you know, when their DNA is so warped in such a way, you just move forward. Can they fight a war? War fighting requires military capabilities. A pauper country cannot fight a war, point one. And that too when it's surviving on dole and arms. Their radars were taken out. India's operations were meticulous, systematic, and for effect. That just shows how a professional armed forces work. They first targeted 9 terror bases, including headquarters in Murid and Bahawalpur. That was the first heart attack for Pakistan. A heart attack because you can't strike. That was the convention that you can't strike in the heart of Pakistan's Punjab province. Yes. You may strike anywhere. POJK, KPK, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, all of that is okay. But here Prime Minister Narendra Modi is what sources are telling me, cleared a strike on Bahawalpur and Murid Ke, the biggest slap across the face of Pakistan's military terror complex. Point one. Point two, if I may, after that, our DGMO called up the Pakistani DGMO and said, this is what we've done. We advise you not to escalate. Then they escalated. Once they escalated, India then took out their radar bases. Any sensible army would have wargamed this and it just shows that Chinese equipment collapsed. It failed. It could not protect itself. Imagine a Chinese honky radar that cannot protect itself. How will it protect Pakistani airspace in Lahore or around Lahore? Pakistan still did not learn its lesson. It thought it will escalate. It's like a drug addict playing that poker game, addicted to drugs or gamble. They continued to gamble. It wasn't tactics on their part. They were gambling that India will not escalate. What they didn't realize is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the service chiefs, the NSA, the External Affairs Minister, Defense Minister, they'd all war-gamed this maybe 5 levels even ahead, in that escalation ladder. So when they still tried to escalate, India then went and hit 13 air bases across the length and breadth of Pakistan.
Yes.
Of course, leaving some scope that if you escalate further, we will hit the remaining air bases. That just goes on to show that that country's morale has now hit rock bottom, and that is why they're standing on tanks, trying to, say whatever Pakistan ki jai or whatever they may want to say. But there is no jai jaikar in defeat. They also know it.
Gaurav, in fact, I'm glad that Pakistan leaders are giving those interviews. They are doing these theatrics. It's only exposing them further and with hope to the world as well.